Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If you're joining us live, please do me a quick favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, tag Lolly Dolly everybody and let them know your boy Ramon Preston, my squad, and the Ramon Preston Show. We are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we are rejoicing and we are glad in it. Welcome to the Ramon Preston Show. Wherever you're watching me from, please do me a favor. Put in the comments what city you are watching your boy from. Who you represent. Let me know what city you're watching me from. All you have to do is just put in the comments what city you're watching me from. For the past few days on the Ramon Preston Show, I've been talking to you about the business, the industry, and the category of business consulting or life coaching or business coaching or life consulting or whatever the type of coaching and consulting that you do. And so today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 facts about coaching, 10 facts about coaching. So if you are in the coaching space, if you have a desire to be in the coaching space, this show today is going to be very valuable to you. And if you have not had an opportunity to watch the previous shows that I've done on this industry and the business of coaching and consulting, I highly recommend you to go back and to rewatch those shows and take me up on an offer that I want to extend to you today. I'm hosting an upcoming coaching boot camp in a few weeks, and I actually have an online course that I want to give you access to leading up to my one-day boot camp that could really show you the ins and outs of how to start and structure a six-figure coaching business. I actually have a online course and a one-day boot camp for coaching, and it's built around my 20-point process that I've used to build a six-figure coaching business, a six-figure consulting business, and a six-figure educational business. 3 different businesses that I've built from the ground up, all of which make 6 figures a year, and I want to show you how to do that as well. So again, I'm going to extend that offer to you at the end of today's show, but it's going to be an offer for an online course that I want to give you access to, and I want to extend an invitation to you to join me in a few weeks right here live in person for a coaching boot camp. It's a one-day event that I'm going to be training you on my 20-point process for starting and structuring a six-figure coaching business. So again, I want you to put in the comments what city you're watching me from. I appreciate all of you for joining the Ramon Preston Show, for supporting the Ramon Preston Show. Put in the comments what city you're watching me from. And if you're a coach, let me know what type of coach you are. Or if you're looking at becoming a coach, let me know what type of coach you want to become. Is it a life coach? Is it a business coach? It is a financial coach? Is it a relationship coach, a health coach, a spiritual coach, or all of the above? I would love to know what type of coaching you're doing and or what type of coaching you would like to do, because I want to help you become a six-figure coach. There is no reason in today's world that you cannot create a six-figure coaching business. There's no reason in this world. And so today, I'm going to be talking to you about the 10 facts about coaching. So just in case you don't know, my name is Ramon Preston. All right. Just in case this is your first time watching the show. My name is Ramon Preston. I'm the host of the Ramon Preston Show. Every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time, I come here on this show to share information with you, whether it's about coaching like I'm doing today, whether it's about business, whether it's about holding companies, whether it's about creative tax strategies, financial literacy, investing. All the information that I share with you on this show is an extension of who I am as a consultant, as a coach, as as an educator, we specialize in helping people properly start and structure so that they can scale their businesses, ministries, income streams, and wealth building dreams. And so because I am a coach and because I know how successful a coaching business can be in today's world, I have made it my business, especially this year, to give people like you the correct information that I know you need in order to take your coaching business to six figures and beyond. And the truth is this: even if you don't think you are a coach, or even if you don't think coaching has a place in whatever the business is that you have right now, if you learn the principles and the concepts that I teach about coaching, you're going to see very quickly that, oh, wow, I'm already coaching people. I'm already consulting. I'm already educating. Like, for example, whatever the business is that you're in, it don't have to be coaching or consulting or education right now. It doesn't matter what business you're in. If you're a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a freelancer, an independent contractor, if I called you and asked you any question about the business you're in, or about the services you provide, or about the products you sell, if I ask you a question or a series of questions to get information and insight from you on that particular thing that you do, you probably have a world of information to share with me, right? You probably have so much data, so much content that you share with me to educate me on the industry that you're in, the business that you have, the products that you sell, the services you provide, which essentially is consulting. It is essentially education and coaching. You just have not put it together the proper way, and you're missing out on major opportunities to scale your business to six figures and beyond. So today, I want to talk to you about the 10 facts about coaching. 10 facts about coaching, okay? That's what we're going to be talking about today. 10 facts about coaching. Fact number one, the coaching industry, this is the first fact I want to share with you about coaching. The coaching industry is made up of about 55,000 coaches worldwide. This is the first fact about coaching that I want to share with you. Okay, the coaching industry is made up of about 55,000 coaches worldwide, and it is estimated to gross anywhere between 15 to 20 billion dollars a year. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted to raise this fact to you, because I want you to understand that even though the coaching industry generates about 15 to 20 billion dollars a year, compared to other industries, 55,000 worldwide ain't a whole lot. So it's not like the coaching industry is saturated. Because there have been studies, there have been studies and research that people have done that show there are only about 55,000 coaches worldwide. Now, of course, you might have some shade tree coaches, people who really don't have legitimate businesses. They just kind of winging it and doing it. But that's in any industry. But it's very important for you to understand that even though you may feel like you don't have a place in the coaching industry, there are only 55,000 coaches worldwide. And this industry generates about 15 to 20 billion dollars a year. So yes, you do have competition, but it's not like this industry is oversaturated. I think there should be 550,000 coaches, because the other 500,000 business owners or entrepreneurs that are not coaches, they are coaching, they just ain't getting paid to coach. They're already consulting, they just not getting paid to consult. They're already educating people, they just not getting paid to educate people. I mean, almost every business owner that I've sat down with and I've helped them to create a coaching business, Almost every one of them, since I've been consulting and coaching clients, almost every business owner that I've personally sat down with and have helped them to build their coaching business, almost every one of them have already been coaching people, they've been educating people, and they've been consulting people, but they just didn't see what they was doing as coaching. Now, you might be one of those business owners. And if you are, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if somebody called you and asked you questions about your business, about your products, about your services, or maybe you provide a service and you give free estimates. And what happens is somebody can bring you to their house for an estimate, or you can talk to somebody over the phone. You could give them an estimate, or you can qualify them. You can talk to them about your products that you sell, or whatever the situation is. You have so much information to give them. You know all the ins and outs about the business that you have. You know all the ins and outs about your products and your services. You know all the ins and outs about the key performance indicators, the metrics, the data. Like most business owners and people who run businesses, they know so much about the thing that they do, but they never think about repackaging what they do in the form of coaching so that they can monetize their expertise. And this is a fact. There are about 55,000 coaches worldwide, and the coaching industry generates about $15 to $20 billion a year. One of the reasons why I wanted to bring that first fact up is because I want you to see that the number of 55,000 coaches, that number is probably going to be 500,000 in the next 3 to 5 years. Because a lot of people are starting to realize that they can make money sharing what they know. They can monetize their intellectual assets. They have intellectual property. They've got information. They got experience. They got education. They have history. They've got research and development. They got all this stuff that they've never made money from. And now they're starting to learn that, wow, if I take this intellectual property of my experience, of my history, of my work ethic, and I package it like a coach should, or a consultant or educator should, I can make money and actually create multiple streams of income and multiple flows of business. All right. Fact number 2. The second fact about coaching: over half of the coaches today, over half, all right, over half of the coaches today, this is a surprise to some of y'all, are 45 to 60 years old. And 70% of these coaches are females. Did you know that? Did you know that over half of the coaches today are between 45 and 60 years old? Now, why do you think over half of the coaches today are 45 to 60 years old? Well, first of all, because they done lived. They got some experience under their belt. I mean, I'm 46 years old. Even though I've consulted, my wife and I, we've consulted for years and we coached people for years, but we did the same thing. For years, we were consulting people and coaching people, but we didn't even know we was doing that. We had to come to the realization that this is what we were doing. And it wasn't until we started getting around more consultants, really, that's how we really started it, in consulting, not coaching. It wasn't until we started getting around people who were legitimately consulting people, like professional consultants, people who had gotten college educations and degrees and certifications and accreditations to consult. It wasn't until we started getting around these type of professionals that we realized that we doing what they doing, and we were really doing it better than what they were doing because we had more angles. Like my wife and I, we started in the real estate business. So we was a 2-person team. My wife got her real estate license. I didn't get my license, but I was the handyman. So as a 2-person team, that's how my wife and I started our entrepreneurial journey. We started just servicing people, helping them find houses. If they wanted to rent houses out, become landlords, we would find the properties. We would help them fix them up. If they wanted to flip properties, we wholesale. Like, we did all that stuff in the early 2000s, right? But my point is, because my wife and I, we were so dedicated to our craft, we started working with lenders because we wanted to help people get loans. We started working with credit repair companies. We wanted to help people get their credit right so that they could get a loan, so that they could buy a house. We started working with contractors and developers. We started working with associations, because when you work with people who were developers and home builders that were building houses, you deal with association issues. So all of a sudden, my wife and I, we started in one industry and we ended up in about 20 different industries. So when we talked to clients, even though they thought they were just talking to a real estate team, they were really talking to people who could consult them on the other 19 different areas that relate to that business. Now, I'm bringing that up because my wife and I, we're in this range of 45 to 60. And we're like at a place in our career as consultants and coaches and educators that we starting to hit that flow. We starting to get some steam. We starting to see it. I didn't see it 15 years ago when I was 30. You get what I'm saying? So if you are between 45 and 60, that means you're in the perfect age range of over half of the coaches that exist today. If you're not between 45 and 60 and you're a little early on, well, you can get a head start because you can learn from people who are already getting steam, and you can figure things out quicker. Because if I had people who were like me around me 15 years ago, when I first started understanding consulting and coaching, oh my God, I would have probably been where I am now then, but it took me time to figure it out, okay? So over half of the coaches are 45 to 60 years old. So if you're in this age range, you're in a perfect age range, because I guess a lot of times people psychologically can appreciate you and respect you more, as opposed to you being like a 20-year-old coach. You know what I mean? Like if somebody is coaching and they like 18, 20 years old, I'm not saying you can't coach at 20 years old, but you don't really, the perception is different. Cause we might kind of look at you like, yeah, but you don't really know a whole lot. You ain't lived that long. So it can negatively impact your business if you're a 20-year-old coach as opposed to being a 40, 45, 50-year-old coach. So you have an advantage. But if you are younger than 45, getting around older coaches who are more seasoned and more experienced, not just in their business and craft, but in life, it gives you more credibility. And then here's another big fact with this one: 70% of these coaches are females. So that means you got way more credibility than men. I mean, 70% of the coaches are females. That's powerful. So you have more credibility. People perceive you different in the market. And if you ain't doing this as an entrepreneur, I'm telling you, I can almost guarantee you're leaving at least $100,000 a year on the table. Easy, because I've done it. I've got a coaching division, a consulting division, and an educational division under my company. 3 separate divisions. All 3 of them make multiple 6 figures a year. No cap, receipts and all. Multiple. I'm not just talking about $100,000 a year. $200,000 to $300,000 a year. No cap, receipts and all. And guess what? If you are not in this space and you have been an entrepreneur for a while, you know your craft, your skill, your experience, you're good at what you do, you're confident, and you haven't built a coaching or consulting and educational business, you're leaving so much money on the table. All right, let's get to our next fact. Fact number 3, the average income of most coaches today, this is the average income of coaches, is about $60K a year. That's about $5K a month. So that's the average income of a coach, $60K a year. And I'm telling you, this is really, like, these are facts that I'm giving you, but I've done my own research, because I do all kind of research. I study everything that I do in my business. And I'm telling you, most of the coaches that I've coached, Most of the consultants that I have consulted don't even make $5,000 a month doing it. Most of them don't make that much money doing it. Most of them don't. But this is just an average of $60K a year. I'm telling you because even though I've been an entrepreneur for 20 years and I started consulting and coaching, a couple years ago, like on a real serious level, but I have been in it long enough to know that it's easy in today's world with the internet, with technology and automations and systems. It's easy. And I know I say that and it sounds like, yeah, you saying that because you're doing it. I'm telling you, it's not as complicated as you think to make $100,000 a year, especially doing this. It's not as complicated. But again, you got to be willing to learn. You got to be willing to put the right business system together. You got to be willing to put the work in, and you most likely have to be willing to be coached and be mentored by someone who's already doing it. Like I learned that in the real estate arena, because most people will tell you, if you want to get into real estate, if you want to become an investor, if you want to do certain things, the best way to get into it is to find somebody who's doing it and work for them or work with them or help them and then let them mentor you. But in today's world, you can't just do that for free. Like most people are not going to intern you for free. Most people are not going to bring you into their world and into their ecosystem for free. Most people are going to charge you to come into their ecosystem. You're going to have to pay to get that. Where 15 years ago, it may have been a little easier to find somebody that was doing something like a coach or a consultant or somebody doing online courses or a real estate investor or a crypto expert or a Bitcoin person. It might have been easier 15 years ago to find somebody who was doing something and you wanted to do it and they let you intern for 3 months for free. In today's world, you're not doing it for free. Even if you wanted to give people your service for free, most of them not going to accept it because they know how valuable they are. So my point to you is this. If the average income of coaches is about 60K, and I'm telling you, I got proof that most coaches today do not make $60,000 a year. Most coaches do not make $5,000 a month. Most coaches don't even make no money. A whole lot of coaches I know don't even make money from coaching. If they're making money from a different business or from a job that they're using to fund a coaching business they're trying to get off the ground, but they never put the right coaching business together. Does that make sense? And I'm telling you that you can get to 6 figures. You can get to 6 figures. You can get to 6 figures. This 6-figure, $100,000 a year conversation, my staff will tell you, I'm always having that conversation with them almost every day. I'm like programming them. Do not think about 60K a year, 40K a year, 35K. Don't think about that. Do not make sense of that because you can make $100,000 a year. And I'm in the process of proving that your staff can make $100,000 a year. That's what I'm working on. I'm working on showing my clients and my mentees and my students and my community, people that are in my community, I'm working on it now. I'm in the process of showing them that you can be a coach and your staff can be making $100,000 a year, not just you. Because for me to make $100,000 a year, I've done that over and over again. I want my staff to make $100,000 just from supporting me in what I do as a coach and a consultant. You get what I'm saying? All right, let's go to the next fact. Fact number 4. Fact number 4. The average Fortune 500 company, you know what a Fortune 500 company is, right? A Fortune 500 company, that's like a company that's the top 500 meaning that they make more revenue, they're the biggest, they're the largest, they're the most successful. When you become a Fortune 500 company, you're just one of 500 companies that's out there crushing it worldwide. Well, this is a fact. The average Fortune 500 company hires coaches for their executives and their teams. So the average Fortune 500 company has, let me put it this way, has a coach. So this works two ways if you're watching this today, okay? This works two ways. Let me explain to you. The average Fortune 500 company has a coach. This is fact number 4. This works two ways. One way this works is that the successful companies know that they need a coach. The most successful companies need a coach, and they hire coaches for their executives and for their teams. Okay? The companies that are not successful are the companies that don't hire coaches. See, this is a principle that I had to learn, because for the longest, you couldn't tell me when I first started as an entrepreneur, you couldn't tell me that I should be paying thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to a coach. I couldn't understand it. Number one, because I was small-minded, because my thinking was wrong, because I was limited in my beliefs and my capacity. So, you know, as a solo entrepreneur, I started 20 years ago. You couldn't tell me that it would be worth me taking thousands of dollars and paying someone to help me, because I couldn't see it from that perspective. But it hindered my success. It wasn't until I started learning more about success, more about money, more about my own beliefs and my limitations, and started breaking those things off of my mind and elevating my mind to thinking different, to learning different, to educating different, that I realized, number one, I can't be a solopreneur because I'm never going to get to where I want to go. And in order for me to build a successful business organization, I'm going to have a coach. I'm going to have someone or a group of people in certain areas that can help assist me to continue to grow. This is one of the reasons why fact number 4 proves the average Fortune 500 company has a coach. So most solopreneurs think like I used to think. That's why they're solopreneurs. So when I talk to somebody and they a one-person show and they don't think they need a coach, I already know it's a mental issue they have. And their mental issue is they're limited in their thinking. They have a lid. They have a lid on their thinking, on their beliefs. They have not really pushed the envelope to get out of the cycle of what they knew to get where they at. They think scarcity, like they got a whole lot of stuff going on, and they never really scale. They never really grow their businesses, because the most successful businesses on the planet, they use coaches. All right. So that's one angle. The other part of this is, if you are a coach, there's always a demand for you by people who want to be successful. So if you're a coach, me and my team, we just had a team meeting today because I'm getting ready to go out of town. And one of the first things I told them was, it doesn't matter if it seems like people don't want what you are offering them, because there are people who need what we have and they want it and they're willing to pay for it. So all you have to do is keep showing up. So if you're a coach or a consultant, or if you have online courses and you're trying to educate people and build your business and you're having problems, of course, you need to get around the right people. You need to be mentored to know how to do it by somebody who's done it. But on the other hand, don't get discouraged and think that there are no people out there who don't want what you have or don't need it or not willing to pay for it, because there are. But you got to get your stuff together. You got to get things right in order to become the most valuable person that gives them a presentation, okay? Fact number 5, coaching, I love this one. Coaching is a multiplier. Coaching is a multiplier. This is facts. Coaching is a multiplier. What do you mean coaching is a multiplier? Well, on one hand, coaching removes time. So you may be here, and if you keep doing what you're doing, it may take you 5 years to get where you want to be in your success. When you have a coach, that 5 years can turn into 5 months, and it multiplies. It gets you further quicker, because now you have the acceleration of someone who's already accomplished what you just starting out to accomplish. So if I want to be a 6-figure coach, right? And I'm getting coached and trained and mentored by somebody who's already accomplished 6-figure coaching, don't you think it's going to be easier for me to become a 6-figure coach because that person already has a blueprint? They already have a framework. They already have a formula that actually works for them. Of course, it's still going to take my time, my effort, my expertise. It's going to still require a whole lot from me, but at least I'm getting that from someone who's accomplished it, as opposed to you getting coached by somebody who don't even make $1,000 a month coaching, and they trying to tell you how to make $10,000 a month. How? Like, how you gonna tell me how to make 10 grand a month coaching and you don't make 10 grand a month? Like, how do you do that? You just have theories, but you never put it to practice. So it's kind of hard for me to believe that and think that it's gonna work for me, and it ain't working for you, and you're trying to tell me that, okay? So coaching is a multiplier. It removes time and it accelerates your process when you are being coached by somebody who's actually done it, all right? Fact number 6, coaching is no longer, in my estimation, a commodity. That's what some people think coaching is. I don't think coaching is a commodity. I think coaching is a necessity. And even if coaching was at some point a commodity, meaning that, yeah, you can get a coach anywhere, because that's how some people feel. Oh, I can find any coach online. Yeah, you might find somebody who say they're a coach online, but it don't mean they're going to be able to give you the results that you need. Just because they say they're a coach don't mean they're a coach, right? Just because a person say they're a car don't mean they're a car. So we live in a world where you can identify as anything. Well, I identify as a man. I identify as a woman. I identify as a blue person. Don't mean nothing. It is what it is. So in today's world, coaching is no longer a commodity. I believe coaching is now a necessity. It is a necessity. You have to have a coach in order to get somewhere. I mean, it's just, I think so. And for the people who say you don't, just look at their life. Look at where they are. And then they're probably going to make an excuse for why they are. Because I always hear these lame excuses. Well, everybody ain't got to be a millionaire. Everybody ain't got to have a big old company. Everybody don't have to have 100 employees. Everybody don't have to have this. We're not saying everybody has to have it. But what we're saying is, if you do have it, it may be because you've done certain things a certain way and you've gotten optimum results. So you look at somebody that's got a business and they're a solopreneur. It's just one person. Then you look at somebody that's got a business and they got a staff, they got a payroll, they got a whole team, they building a company. And the person that's doing it by themselves can easily say, yeah, but everybody don't need a team. Everybody don't need this. It's just a lame excuse to me, because you're either giving up on it or you don't think it's meaningful to you, but you can't justify being where you at by making where somebody else is wrong. You get what I'm saying? So it's a necessity to me. It's not a commodity. Fact number 7, most coaches are what we call IBOs. Most coaches are IBOs. IBO is independent business owners. That's what most coaches are. And they think like that. I want to help you get out of that. Like most coaches, not the average coach, but most coaches today, probably 7 or 8 out of 10 coaches today are IBOs. They're independent business owners. They think like independent business owners. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're network marketers, because an IBO is typically used by network marketers too. But an independent business owner is not necessarily a network marketer, but somebody who does business independently. So everything is dependent upon them. Every service they provide, they got to provide it. Everything they do, they got to do. They may have a couple virtual assistants or some people that they contract out some stuff to, but they don't really have a real company because they're independent business owners. This is how most coaches operate, but you cannot scale independent business ownership. You can't scale that. You've got to build a real business with systems and processes and staffs and frameworks and these things that are going to help you get to where you ultimately want to be in your business. So if you are like most coaches and you're an independent business owner, you got to build a real infrastructure. And I show you how to do that. And I want to help you make that happen. Okay. Fact number 8, the most successful coaches have accredited and or approved training. Okay? So the most successful coaches today, they either have some type of accreditation or approval from an organization that has trained them correctly, not just on what to do, but how to build a business around what they do. So I coach people today who have accreditations from certain coaching organizations. The problem with that is they come with these certifications, but they have not built a business around it. They really don't even have a process for their coaching. They don't even know how to draft contracts and agreements. They don't know what their coaching service should entail. They don't know anything about their pricing, their packaging. Like, I've coached people, and I still do coach people who have accreditations, but it's meaningless because they still don't have a coaching business. They still don't know how to actually put an offer together and get out there and market their business and get clients, okay? So most coaches who are successful, they have specific accredited or approved training. The most successful coaches, fact number 8, they do more than coaching. So this is fact number 8. Fact number 8, the most successful coaches, they do more than coach. So that means the most successful coaches, they either provide professional consulting services, they have other products that they sell, they have online courses, they do seminars, they put events together. Like, they have multiple flows of business as coaches in their coaching business. The most successful coaches do. So if you're just a coach that's trying to have a session with someone and you're hired for 1 hour to do a session, most likely you're not making enough money to build a business and to afford being in that business full time, because you don't have more offers and more options in your coaching business. Okay. And that was 7, 8, number 9. The most successful coaches, they see at least a 500 to 600% return on their investment. So that means if a successful coach invests $100 or $1,000, let's say $10,000. Let's say if a coach invests $10,000, okay? A 500% return on 10,000 is what? 50,000? Yeah, 100% would be 10, 200% would be 20. So they would see at least a 5 to 600% return on average, just because of what they've invested in their coaching. So when you don't invest in your own coaching, you can't expect to see any return on your coaching when you've made no type of investment to get some type of return. And fact number 10, I'll end with this one. The 10th fact about coaching is that the most successful coaches have what I love: systems and processes. That means the most successful coaches, they have a system and a process, or I'll use a different word. They have a blueprint or a formula for how they acquire clients, how they onboard their clients, how they service their clients, what type of contracts and agreements they draft up for their clients, how they move their clients through their ecosystem as coaches. Like, the most successful coaches have this stuff. And one of the reasons why I wanted to take the last few days like I have, and all this week and probably for the next couple weeks, to keep talking to you about this business of coaching, is because I'm hosting a upcoming coaching boot camp. It's a one-day event, and I'm going to be teaching you my 20-point process for building a six-figure coaching business. So if you're a coach, or if you want to be a coach, I want to personally invite you to join me for this one-day event. Here's the good thing about this one-day event. We also provide an online course to prepare you for the one-day event. So you can get access to the course online immediately, start learning these 20 points, start training, start preparing yourself, and then you can come to the one-day event and you get all the tools for how to literally build a six-figure coaching business. Because I know when I started coaching, I didn't have this 20-point process. I didn't really understand a lot about what I was doing. So I had to document all the things that I did. I had to figure out what things worked, what didn't work. I had to learn how to price and package my services. I had to over deliver for probably a couple hundred people before I figured out a framework and a formula that actually worked. And so I have a formula for acquiring clients, for onboarding clients. I have a formula for your contracts and your agreements, for pricing your services, for packaging your services, for creating hybrid programs that include education and consulting and coaching, for separating those three so that you can have prices and packages for your coaching program. You can have prices and packaging for your consulting services and for your educational services, and you can have hybrids. And then I show you my 5-step process for how I bring clients into my ecosystem. Like, how do you assess them? How do you get information to assess them to help determine what type of game plan you put together for them? How do you help them quantify their financial goals? And even if you're not a business coach and a consultant, you still have to have this element in your consulting and coaching. Because if you're providing life coaching for people, well, a part of their lives is finances, is their careers. So you have to help them understand those things. If you provide relationship coaching or spiritual coaching, they still gotta live. They still gotta pay bills. So learning the principles and the concepts that I teach as a business and financial coach will tremendously impact the value and the results you get in your coaching business. So I want to personally invite you to join me. I want to personally invite you to join me for my upcoming coaching boot camp. And I want to give you access to my online course so that you can learn my 20-point process for building a six-figure coaching business. And I would love for you to join me in person for my 1 day of training. It's coming up in a few weeks. I promise that it's going to change your life, and you will leave that place with such confidence and clarity on how to build a six-figure coaching business. You probably already have it set up just from the online course by the time you get to the 1 day event. But I want to give you access to that and extend a personal invitation. If you want to take me up on the invite, I want you to text the word coach to 678-276-8253. That's 678-276-8253. My hope and expectation is that today's show brought value to you. And I would love for you to text the word coach to 678-276-8253 if you have any other questions that you want to ask. Maybe you're already in the coaching business and you're putting your courses together. You might have a couple that's put together. Maybe you're just questioning your prices. You don't know if you're priced correctly, if you have your packages correctly. I want to answer all that for you. I want to do that because I know in the next 3 years, the number of millionaires in America will double. But they're also showing signs that the coaching industry as a whole is probably going to double. So what that tells me is a lot of the people who becoming millionaires in the next 3 years, they're going to be in the coaching space. I already see it. It's already trending that way. And I'm trying to get my people in my community to see, you got the experience. You good at what you do. You just need to learn how to put a business model together that reflects it so that when you go out on the internet, you can make things happen. Like I was just telling somebody the other day, and I was just telling them just to show them the power of what I'm teaching about becoming a coach and a consultant and an educator and influencer. I make money on the internet every day. And I taught myself how to build this business model so that I can make money on the internet or off the internet every day. So even though I'm on the internet all the time, and even sometimes I'm goofing off and being petty and just acting up and being a little controversial, but guess what? I'm getting paid to do it because I built a business model the way I needed to build it so that I can monetize and make money off everything that I do. And I want you to do the same because you already have the pieces of the puzzle together. You just need some help putting it together. So if you want me to help you, I would be more than happy to. I have an online course for coaches. I have a 1 day of training boot camp that I'm putting together for coaching. It's coming up in a couple weeks, and I want to invite you to be there with me, okay? Text coach to 678-276-8253. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining the show today. We look forward to speaking with you when you text the word coach to the number, and we'll reach back out to you. We'll answer any questions you may have, and we can get you started today. You can actually get started on the course today to start learning all 20 of my points, and you can be prepared for my upcoming 1 day event, which is our coaching boot camp. So look forward to hearing from you. Otherwise, have an amazing Millionaire Monday, and I'll see you